Healthy Living, Episode 3. How can you live healthily by not eating all the time?
Take effing action. Put it together. And subscribe to Tom Penn's channel on YouTube now. Yeah, I like it. It's crazy.
So in episode 1, we talk about how sugar is your enemy. Sugar is what destroys your health because sugar is something that will promote inflammation. It will promote diabetes. It will promote insulin resistance. Those are the things that weaken your immune system. So sugar really is your enemy. I'm not saying don't eat sugar, but control it. And in episode 2, we talk about what oil to use. I think that's so important because oil is such an essential ingredient in cooking. And most people don't use it correctly. There are good oils that you should never cook with, like extra virgin olive oil. They're great in salad, very healthy for you, a lot of omega-3, omega-6. But when you cook it, it becomes really bad for you. There's also oils made through industrial process. They're really bad for you. You should avoid them. Animal fat is great. Butter is great. Those are okay. Those are good for your health. The whole idea that saturated fat is bad for you is wrong. You can go research this yourself. You can go research all the latest scientific data on this. And you'll find that now people say saturated fat is okay. It's not evil. It's good for you. It's the industrially made fat that doesn't exist in nature. Those are the ones that are gonna kill you. And the other thing is that avoid fried foods. When you eat fried food, most likely you use the oil made from a factory. And those oil generally get heated up to a very high temperature for a very long time. And what happens is that the chemical composition of those oil change and they become cancerous and they become poisonous. And those are really bad for you. I didn't talk about that in lesson number 2, but I want you to make a note of it. Today, we're gonna talk about why you should not eat all the time every day. We have this idea that everybody needs to eat 3 meals a day. You gotta have a good breakfast, you gotta have a lunch, and you gotta have a good dinner. We all say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Nobody misses breakfast because they all think, hey, this is the most important meal of the day. It's gonna define how the day goes. If I don't have breakfast, then the day will suck. But I want you to think about this. Why people eat breakfast. 1, in agricultural days, long time ago, you wake up in the morning, you're gonna spend all day on the farm. You're gonna use a lot of labor, a lot of energy. When you wake up, you have a big meal at breakfast. That makes sense. Today, we don't do that anymore. So when you eat a big meal at breakfast, where does all that energy go? Turns into fat. The second thing is that in North America, a lot of the companies that sell breakfast cereals, they promote the idea that you must eat breakfast. And they actually have conducted scientific studies. These are all like not real scientific studies to try to convince everybody that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And the American public bought it. Everybody now says breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But is it really that important? I used to eat breakfast. I used to see it that way as well. Like I see, oh, if I'm gonna have a good day, gotta have something to eat in the morning and then go to work. I stopped eating breakfast and I'll explain why. And my day is just fine. In fact, I'm more energized. In fact, I feel more healthy by not eating breakfast. In fact, you don't need to eat all the time. 3 meals a day is really overkill. It's too much. What I mean by that, I want you to think about 100,000 years ago, when human beings are hunters, hunter-gatherers, hunt animals for food. They are not always going to find the animal. They're not always going to get the animal. Some days they get nothing, and they starve. Did they die? Of course not. If they did, there will be no more humans. The human body has already evolved to be resistant to starvation. Our earliest ancestors, they don't have meals every day. Maybe if lucky, they get meal twice a week and they survive. And in fact, when they're hungry, they still have to go out and hunt. They still have to run after the animals. They still have to fight the animals. So they still have that energy reserve. And where does that energy reserve come from? From fat. When you eat something, any excess energy is turned into fat. And when you need to use the fat, it will convert back into energy. Our body is very good at it. Unfortunately, in modern day, we abuse our body so much that we stuff it with food, so it all turns into fat. And our body don't know how to convert that back into energy anymore because of too much food. And that's how people got fat and can never reduce their weight. And luckily for me, I'm not at that stage. I lost 11 kilograms over, I think, 2 months. My body is actually like 18 years old. My metabolism is still very, very good. As long as I eat the right things, the right food, I lose the weight very fast. So how should you eat? Our bodies are designed to go long duration without food. When you keep on stuffing it with food, it's actually unhealthy. I also made a video earlier about how actually keeping yourself a little bit starved will actually make you live longer. It's true, it's a scientific study. They found that if you starve yourself a little bit, then your genome will try to correct itself. That's the fascinating part. When your body is a little bit starved, it will go into restoration mode. It's like it turns into a maintenance mode. It will try to fix all the problems with your DNA or fix all the problem. Maybe you have a tumor, you have a cancer. Everybody has cancer, by the way, okay? Everybody has some kind of abnormality. Some cancers are benign, they don't become a problem. But everybody has some kind of tumor in their body. But when you are a little bit starved, what does your body do? It tries to look for tissue that they can convert into energy. And they start with the bad tissue first. True story. They actually experimented with cancer patients. They starved them. Okay, you have cancer, you don't eat for a couple days. See what happens. And what they discovered is that the body will try to consume the cancer cells. This thing is called autophagy, the body eating itself. And when the body eats itself, it doesn't eat the good parts. It doesn't eat the muscle. It doesn't eat the good organs. It tries to find things that are bad in the body, the cancer, the tumor, anything that's wrong, it will start to eat that first. It's called autophagy. So when you starve yourself a little bit, your body will go to work. It will find the energy from your body. It will start with the bad tissue. That's how you clean your body, by starving yourself a little bit. This is what I do in the last 2 months. I only eat 2 meals, lunch and dinner. I eat one time at 12 o'clock. I eat one time at 6 o'clock. I only eat in the 6-hour window. Any other time, I'm not eating. And I'm not hungry because remember, I was eating only meat and animal fat and some vegetables. No sugar, no rice. And when you eat animal protein, animal fat, you're full. I was never hungry. I never wake up at night and say, oh, I'm so hungry. Never did. I was so full. I don't cut my portions. I still eat a lot. But I'm losing the weight just by removing sugar from my diet. The other 18 hours of the day, I'm not eating. So my body has to go find energy somewhere. Where does it find the energy? Of course, fat store. It will go to fat and will try to convert the fat into energy. It will convert the fat into something called ketones. Ketones is like blood sugar. The body can use it for energy, for the muscle, for the brain. The brain can use sugar and ketone. The brain can use 2 different fuels. The brain can use the sugar from the food, or the brain can use the ketones converted from the fat. See, our body is already designed through evolution to deal with starvation, long period of time not eating. So that's why you have this mechanism of converting fat into ketones, and the ketones can be used by the brain. Because when you're hungry, your brain still has to work. If you're a hunter 10,000 years ago, just because you're hungry, your brain still has to work because you have to go out and hunt. This is all designed by evolution, already works for the human body. So we're just taking advantage of all the mechanisms in the human body. So it's okay to not eat for 18 hours, and that's what I do. I only eat lunch and dinner, and I don't eat any other time. And during that 18 hours, I'm not hungry, but my body is converting the fat into energy and also doing autophagy. It's actually cleaning up any bad tissue, any tumor, any cancer, any excess tissue not needed. And that makes you live longer, more healthy. You don't want cancer tumor to stay in your body. So that's what starvation will do for your body. And I'm not telling you to starve yourself. I'm telling you just have a long period of time you don't eat. But you eat normally, 2 meals a day. Actually, don't listen to me. Do your own research. Do your own Googling. Everybody's different. I'm not saying that what I do will work for you. You have to do your own research. You have to experiment. Do not trust anything I say about eating or healthy living or anything. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. But I'm telling you what works for me. And I know I'm right. I know that going 18 hours every day without eating is actually good for you because of so many benefits. You're converting the extra fat into energy. You're doing autophagy. Your body is eating up all the excess bad tissue. You are stopping your body to develop insulin resistance. There are so many benefits when you don't eat so many meals in a day. Limit your meals to 2. Maybe only eat 6 hours a day. Other times, don't eat. And if you eat the right things, you're not going to be hungry. There are some people that take it to the extreme. There are some people that do 3-day fasting, meaning that they don't eat for 3 days. They only drink water. Some people even go 7 days. I would not recommend that. And I certainly will not recommend that for anyone without medical assistance. If you want to do that, do it with a doctor watching you. I will not do that without a doctor watching me. I will probably never do that. Even though I understand the benefit of doing that, you really get a deep cleanse, meaning that your body really go into autophagy and try to clean itself up. I understand the mechanics behind it, but I will probably never do it because that's gonna take a lot of investment. I need to run my business and stuff. I can't go into that kind of fasting. But even with 18 hours a day not eating, I'm already seeing the benefits, and I know it can work for you too. So take some fucking action. Look at how many meals you're eating a day, and really, do you need that many? And don't be a fucktard.